Welcome to the Real P&L Trading Show, where I share my real P&L on 3 accounts and share my proprietary Safe Wheel options trade system for free. Uh, Please type in the chat that you can hear me okay. I want to make sure everything's working, audio, and that you can see me. If not, let me know. Also, be sure to post any questions you might have in case I won't go to end the broadcast and you have a question. Be sure to post those as early as possible. Charles says you can hear me. Thank you, Charles. Richard says there's a total eclipse today. Interesting. Okay, I'll be looking for that. All right, let's get started here. Oh, and Shovel, he says that he's the first guy here. Let's get started here with the earnings edge. So what happened with the earnings edge last week? There were a few good stocks that, like bank stocks, that were available, but they didn't fit through all of the filters. They almost made it, but wasn't quite. So there weren't any trades. I'm pretty positive there's going to be some trades coming up this week. There's going to be a lot of earnings coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as the earnings edge, this is the account here. Still 10,802. And that hasn't changed much. I haven't traded for a while in this account. And last trade I did was Home Depot, and you can see my average win, 882, average loss, 515. And I believe my record here is 20 actually and 19, right? So 20, 19. So it's basically about a 50% win rate. The account's worth about 10,802. And what is SPY trading today? SPY 518.60, 518.6. So you can see how the earnings edge has performed in 2022, 2023, and so far in 2024, outperforming a little bit here, but a lot more risk in this trade. So on a risk-adjusted basis, it's probably now not outperforming. But overall, even on a risk-adjusted basis, since I started trading this account live, showing you the results, up 116% versus S&P up around 9%. So that is outperforming even on a risk-adjusted basis overall. Okay, so that's the earnings edge. Not much to report there. I look forward to this week. I think there's going to be a lot of potential candidates for the earnings edge. Okay, the Premier Level 5. Let's go into that account. You can see everything that I've traded with this account. T-bills and options on the E-minis. There's nothing else in here. My net lick, 33,243. Let's put that in the spreadsheet. That's the same as last week, 33,243. You can see I started this on April 8th, 2022. So the S&P is up quite a bit more. It went down pretty good. It started going down in January 2022, and by the time it hit April, it was down pretty good. So that's why it's up 27% since then. But since the beginning of 2022, it's only up 9%. But you can see the performance level where 2022 outperformed, 2023 underperformed. On a risk-adjusted basis, the risk of this is about 1/3 the drawdowns of the S&P, approximately. And so you can always multiply this number times 3. That's actually not a good thing here. So you can see that the 2024 year-to-date down about 5%. One good thing about this PL5 is that I have a lot of my capital in this type of system, and the drawdowns, when you do have drawdowns, they're very, very low. So you don't have to dig out of a deep hole to get back. So we'll see how this year continues. So S&P up 9%, overall 11% versus 27. But again, you can kind of multiply that times 3 because of the risk-adjusted basis. So it's barely outperforming. It's pretty even with the S&P at this time. That is the Premier Level 5. Have 4 trades and fully allocated in that. right now. All right, let's talk about the safe wheel now. So you did see my net lick there, right? Yes, right there, 33,243. Okay. And let's go to, all right, you can see here I traded DKNG and LI in this safe wheel trade, up 541 here, up about 130 bucks on LI. Net liquidation 7032. Let's put that in there. 7032. Oh, let me get back to that. What was that again? Net lick 7025. Put this back here. 7025. So it's up a little bit. 7025. Look at that. Pretty even with the S&P 500, but the drawdowns are about half. So it is outperforming on a risk adjusted basis. You can see it vastly outperformed 2022. 2023 underperformed, and now keeping up in 2024. But overall, since I started sharing this account live and showing you the P&L, and I've only traded the safe wheel in this account, up 40% since 2022, and the S&P is up about 9%. So vastly outperforming. The safe wheel is doing quite well. Pretty good system to give away for free. It's outperforming like that. All right. So what do I need to do? I showed you my net lick, right? I always want to show you my net lick. Okay. What do I have here? I'm long 200 shares. I see. I've got my long call. Don't need to do anything with that. I put that on Friday. And I have my put hedge. So the question on my put hedge first is, am I 100 days or under? No, I don't need to do anything. And then the next, is this $28 put within 75% of this $31? And the answer is yes. I don't even need to do the calculations, because 75% of that's probably around, I don't know, 22 bucks or something like that. So well within. So the put hedge is good. It's protecting me nicely. Now I'm going to run to the traditional wheel portion, not the hedge portion. I'm done with the hedges. They're all good. And I'm looking that I'm long 200 shares, and it says my trade price is 33.25. So that took an average. So I don't really trade like that. So I was assigned at 36.50, 100 shares, and I was assigned at $30, 100 shares. So the first question is, can I sell a covered call against my 100 shares at 36.50? Let's take a look. And I always want to be in the shortest term, right? The one that expires at the end of the week. And I'm going to look at, these are puts, these are calls. Look at the calls, 36.50. So when I go to 36.50, I can't get anything. I want to get at least like 30 bucks, 32 bucks. And if I try to sell this call right here, I'm not going to get anything but maybe, 1 or 2 cents. It's not worth anything. So I'm not going to sell any shares or any a covered call against my shares that I purchased at 36.50. Those are just sitting in limbo. They're protected by a put hedge. But I do have some shares that were assigned at $30, which I definitely can sell. But I want to go as far out of the money as I can and still collect around 30, 32 cents in premium. So here I couldn't do it. I could sell the 32.50 and get my 32 cents or $32. I could sell here, but I'd like to go one back. So I'm going to sell the 32, and I'm going to do one of those because I have 100 shares, and it looks like I can get 40. I might be able to get $49 for this. And I'm doing one. Why am I doing one? I'll explain that here as I put this in. Make sure I'm selling a call. Yes. So I'm going to work this order. So For if I have between five and $10,000, I have 7,000. I will do one. Uh, I'll do one here and three here. So I'll do 3-to-1 ratio. So three put hedges to 100 shares, but actually I did 200 shares because I put on a second tier. So this is the maximum amount of shares. I will not sell another put here. I am fully allocated here. Okay. Looks like it's not filling my order. Let's go to the mid price. Okay, so I was able to collect another $47 on my shares that were assigned last week. The shares that were assigned a couple weeks ago, I have not sold anything against those. All right, so that's why I've only sold one. Um, I've only sold one call, 100 or one contract, which is like 100 shares basically. So I still have 100 shares outstanding, kind of sitting in limbo, kind of a wounded soldier, so I like to call them. But this wounded soldier has a nice hospital here to take care of him because I've got these three put hedges. Okay, so there's my trade for the safe wheel. All right, let's see if there's any questions or comments. Jonos or Anos, I'm in the same position. I'm going to buy one call this Friday. Right, for $5. I could only find at SP at 43. That is far out of the money. So, okay. So it sounds like you were looking to buy something for $5, and it was all the way up to 43 bucks. Well, these are just, there's not even a bid on these. Like this 1 cent to 50 cent, that's just because there's no volume, so they can't really give you anything. See this one right here? This is pretty liquid right here, between 4 and 6 cents. This is probably the one you'd get 35.50. You can probably get this for $5 or $6 right here. So at this 35.50 strike. So that would be the one that you would go to. Even see, these don't have any volume, so they're giving you wacky numbers, right? So maybe that's what you're talking about. Now, if the 43 was the only one that I could get at $5, yeah, I would go ahead and buy that one. Sometimes, like if you were coming into earnings or something like that, it wouldn't be unreasonable at all that the $43 call would be the one that you can get for $5. Right now, it looks like it's the 35.50. All right. SKT says first time here. Welcome here. Actually gonna show you my real P&L and my net lick and my positions as far as my account statement, which is basically everything that's been traded in the account for this year. So you don't see that too many other places, and I've been sharing my information since 2019 on YouTube, just to give you an idea of who I am. Jeff says, could you or would you ever consider going out longer DTE to sell? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, would I consider going longer out? Let's say I went out 11 days and maybe I could get something for that 36.50. Not quite. See, I'd have to go out 18 days. Let's see if I did that. I don't even have the 36.50 available, but yeah, I might have to go out this far. Have I considered it? Yeah, sure, it's a consideration, but it's not part of the system. I only play in these in this shortest term, the ones that expire Friday, because I know they're going to end. And the thing is, I like to sell. What's good about the system, and usually when it makes money, is when I sell a covered call, but I sell it out of the money, further out of the money. So, for example, I just sold the what? I just sold the $32 call, but I actually was assigned at $30. So I'm hoping I get called away because I'll make $200. That's where this system really kind of brings in the change, brings in a little bit of money is when you sell a covered call, but you sell it further out of the money than what your assignment price was, and then you get called away. That's kind of where the money kind of gets brought into the system. So if I just continuously pushed out further and further in time, uh, I wouldn't necessarily reap those benefits very well because I'm not worried about that wounded soldier so much because I'm short 300 shares at the 28 level. So I can't really get hurt that bad. In fact, I would hope that if LI would crash, that would be pretty cool. So, if LI went to $20, that would be nice. I could capitalize on that. So that would be, but yeah, so I have thought about it, but it's not part of the system. And it's something that you could backtest if you wanted to backtest it and figure it out for yourself. Jeff says, thanks. You're welcome, Jeff. Okay, great. So I was able to go over quite a few little parts of the safe wheel. I'm trying to explain it as best I can. And the best way to explain it is just trade it right in front of you, I think. John has a question. Hey, it's been a while. If I have a starting capital of $1,000, can I join the Premier Level 5? I prefer, well, it's difficult to overcome commissions and slippage when you're under $30,000 with a PL5. It's technically could be traded at 15,000, but I don't really like to talk about that too much because I want people to be at the PL5 actually making money as opposed to maybe breaking even because of all the costs involved. In fact, I'm in the process of moving my account over from Thinkorswim over to Interactive Brokers with the PL5 because of the commissions. Commissions are super high with TOS when you trade options on futures. It costs like $2.25 a contract, which is pretty much outrageous. And with Interactive Brokers, it's only 85 cents a contract. And I think that's a major contributing factor to the profitability of the system. It's one thing I think that's been kind of holding me back a little bit. So I'm in the process of moving my account over to Interactive Brokers with just the PL5. So yeah, you're going to see an Interactive Brokers account here, I don't know, the next month or two when I talk about the PL5. But again, to answer your question, $30,000, you kind of got to get to that level to overcome some of these costs. Okay, great. Any other questions? Make sure you get those in for the end of the broadcast. I'm going to say one thing here before I end that I always like to say, and that is that if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? All right, I'll be back next week. I'll see you then.